Hello! Today in your art studio, we are talking about sketchbooks. Sketchbooks are a great part of our classroom culture in our art studio at school. Sketchbooks are great for artists, and today we're going to talk about why. Why a sketchbook? Why would you keep a sketchbook? Take a minute and think about that. Do you have some ideas? Okay. Often we'll talk about what artists do. What do artists do? Artists keep a sketchbook for lots of reasons. They keep a sketchbook to keep track of ideas, to brainstorm, to practice skills and techniques with different art media, as a place to gather and glue in ideas from other places. For example, if you saw something in a magazine or on the internet and you printed it out and you have this piece of paper, but it's just going to get lost, what do you do with it? You put it in your sketchbook. It's a way of keeping all of your art ideas and your brainstorming together in one place. It can be sketches, it can be written word, it can be scribbles, doodles. It's really up to the individual artist. Now, in our classroom studio, we use the sketchbooks as a way to communicate as well. So, student artists work in sketchbooks as a way to help me, the mentor teacher, understand what they're trying to accomplish so that I can help them to get there. Now, types of sketchbooks, there are so many. In our studio, every student will make their own, and I'm going to show you how to do that today as well. But first, let's talk about some sketchbook possibilities. For example, if you're a person who really loves drawing and you want to keep a sketchbook at home or have one that you bring back and forth from home to school, or that you use on the bus or when you anytime. Most artists have a sketchbook they can just pull out of their backpack whenever they think of something and want to write it down. If that sounds like you might want to have your own sketchbook as well as the one we keep at school. So here are some options. I wouldn't really call this a sketchbook, it's more of a pad of paper because it's designed so that you can easily rip out a page. Tear. But because of that, sometimes they fall apart when you don't want to rip out a page. The binding, this sort of binding, will just kind of fall apart and pages will end up falling out everywhere. And this is construction paper, which is not the greatest drawing paper. However, that might not matter to you. This might suit you just fine. Again, each artist has a different need, so it depends on what you want it for. My personal favorite kind of sketchbook is a spiral bound, like this and this. They're actually both 9 by 12 inches, but one opens from the longer edge and the other from the shorter edge. Both of these are mine from some point in my life. Let's see. So for example, this is a sketch I made to plan a painting. I was making a painting for a friend that was going to be quite large, and I really needed to think it through first. So I got a photograph that I printed out of Charlie Parker, and then I began sketching my design. And one way to use a sketchbook. Same here, and you can hold it either way, that doesn't matter. Another reason I love a spiral bound sketchbook is because you can open it and you fold it all the way over. Or at least, it's not giving me a good example. Oh, there we go. So you can fold it all the way over and it'll lay flat on your work surface. You don't have to like hold it open like you would imagine reading a novel. if you're trying to hold your sketchbook open and work in it at the same time, it's not the greatest. So I do prefer spiral bound for that reason. And these are sketches of some animal heads I was going to make to hang on a wall. I made them eventually out of clay, and this is my initial sketch. Practicing materials. Practicing quick sketching with a marker only, so no erasing. So I was practicing and developing my skills. This is a scrappy sketchbook made from upcycled materials. This one's held together with binder clips. Sometimes sketchbooks are tiny. This one I made from the ground up. Everything from painting the paper to binding it together. This one is a Coptic bound book. And similar to spiral bound, it'll lay flat open while you work. You might have to give it a little effort, but generally speaking, it'll stay open while you're working. And finally, for our purposes in class, we're going to make simple sketchbooks with copier paper. It's very easy, and it creates a small, narrow, easily stored stack of sketchbooks for each class. So our first task in art this year is to make a sketchbook where we practice drawing skills that you're going to learn next time within the letters of our names. So it's threefold. It's a sketchbook, it's a name tag, and it's your first have-to assignment to open our drawing studio. After you complete this, you'll have access to all the supplies and tools that you used to make it. So in our class, your sketchbooks are for practicing materials, for planning your next project, they're for doodling, and sometimes kids use them exclusively even for their finished work, and that is absolutely fine with me. If you want to focus only in a sketchbook for the entire semester, you go right ahead, because in the end, you'll still have something amazing to look through and look back on later on. Okay, have fun. When it's time to begin, you grab a stack of paper from the bin. It can just be a stack. And then from the stack, you want to count 10. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the other people in your group will do the same. Going to align your papers the best you can with a little clack clack on the table. And then to get a really good fold, you hold it all as if it's just one piece. And then use your fingers to hold one side still while you lay it all onto the table. And then fold over the other side, right to the same spot. And then firmly press and crease. There we go, and now we have a really nice 20-page sketchbook made with copier paper. And then we staple it together with a long arm stapler. This is one of the best things I've ever purchased for the classroom. In our art studio here, I do the stapling, and I'll come by to your table. All right, so you see we do 2 staples in the spine and have a lovely little sketchbook. So to begin, we do first and last name and room number, whatever classroom, at the top. And remember, you put your homeroom. That's mine. And then hold your sketchbook this way. Notice how the fold is facing away from me. And then these are two examples from 2 different years. I usually make a sample of this assignment. So sometimes I choose to use color in the front, sometimes not. This one I focused on pattern and shading. It'll be up to you. But understand, you want to have your name, your first name only, large, and either block or bubble letters. If you're not sure how to do block or bubble letters, I bet you someone else at your table could help you. The reason that we do block letters is because it gives you a shape to fill in when you're practicing using the materials next time. So if you just have a B like this, that's just a line. This is a whole shape which we can work inside of. So now you want to think about spacing. My name has 7 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need 7 spaces, even considering that the R would be a little bit larger. So I want to kind of map that out, plan it a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If your name were, say, Scott with 1 T, you'd want to say, okay, S, C, O, T. So your letters would be bigger in order to fill the space. And then I'm just going to keep reminding myself that these little lines at the bottom are reminding me how to space my letters. They can overlap each other if you're comfortable with that as well. All right, so now I have all of the letters in my name mapped out, and I am ready for the next time. Oh, side note, erase those little lines. And remember, erasers can be your friend. If you make a mistake, erase it and try again. And remember, don't push down too hard because then you won't be able to erase very effectively in the end. All right, so that's a wrap for today, folks. Next time I will introduce drawing material and we will proceed to fill the letters in. Awesome sauce. See you next time.